Hello everyone. My name is Hunter, and this is a review of Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 8. And I gotta say, I did not like this episode very much. It actually made me a bit frustrated. Not the entire thing. There were points that I did really like, but mostly I was quite frustrated with it. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to start with Ted's storyline. So Ted's ex-wife, Michelle, and Dr. Jacobs, Ted's former therapist, who tricked him into leaving so that he could make a move on Michelle, they're taking a trip to Paris. And Ted Lasso is afraid that Dr. Jacob is going to propose to Michelle. So who does he take these fears and anxieties and everything to help him, work through this? He takes it to the Diamond Dogs, his own little group that helps each other, get through all of their problems. But what frustrated me about this is that they just brush off all of Ted's anxieties and fears here. They just don't care. Higgins is like, you made me run down here all the way for this? That was just so frustrating to just see them just throw away all of Ted's fears and anxieties like that. And it gets so bad that Ted decides to hire a private investigator to look into Michelle and Dr. Jacob. I mean, that's how bad it got, because the Diamond Dogs just wouldn't help him. They wouldn't try and get him through it. Honestly, I agree. It's not really his problem anymore, unfortunately. It would be nice if Michelle had at least, even told Ted Lasso about Dr. Jacob to start, but at the end, Ted and Michelle are divorced, so she really has no requirement to tell Ted anything about this, but it just would have been nice if she had. Honestly, I felt the Love Hounds helps Nate more than the Diamond's Dog helped Ted Lasso in this. Because, at least Ned just left without his fears getting any worse. Ted left with his fears getting worse. Again, he had to hire a private investigator after their conversation. And it only gets fixed when Rebecca calls him and tells him, hey, you shouldn't be worrying about this. This isn't your problem. You can't be worrying about it. There's no reason to. There's nothing you can do about it, and you're going to have to accept it. Rebecca's the only one who helps him with this. And eventually he does realize that he can't do anything about this, and it's their choice. And he really shouldn't be worrying about it, because he's just putting more anxiety onto himself that he doesn't need. And I just wish that the Diamond Dogs could have helped him figure that out, but nope, they just decided that they just didn't care about Ted in that moment. Now, I will say that I did really like the Hey Jude segment. It was cheesy, but that's about half of Ted Lasso's thing is cheesiness. And I did like it, and that was just sweet. And I did talk about Nate's Love Hounds, so I want to move to Nate's storyline next. Nate's getting some character development, or character redevelopment, I guess. So in this episode, Nate gets a girlfriend. He's happier. He's more confident. Not in front of Rupert, but still, this is character development for him. My problem with this storyline, though, is that I do wish it somehow related to Ted Lasso and his team a bit more. His storyline in this episode isn't bad. It's just not necessarily how I wanted his character development to actually go. I kind of just wish it could involve the girlfriend, but I wish that maybe instead of trying to talk to his team, maybe he somehow got in contact with somebody he knew previously from Richmond. I don't know how that would work, because everyone seems to hate him, but I just wish there was more communication and more connection between Nate and Ted Lasso and the team. But one of my favorite parts of this episode was Nate seeing Ted at the game and him just being so happy that Ted was there. And it was just sweet. That's, again, I really just want Nate and Keeley to interact with Ted and the team more. And speaking of Keeley, let's get on the Keeley storyline, which was just... You broke her up with Jamie. You broke her up with Roy. Now you're breaking her up with Jack, so why should I care about her next relationship, whatever that may be? If she has another relationship, I just don't care anymore about any of her relationships. She broke up with Roy for no reason. Even the show acknowledged it. What was her name? Roy's niece said it was just stupid why they broke up. And it was. And speaking of Roy, that stupid question he asked Keely in this episode, who was it for? The photo, the explicit video that got leaked in this episode of Keely. Roy asked who it was for, and again, that's none of his business, and it was just an awful question. I get it, he was hurting, but it feels a little bit off for Roy, the character that we've known for 2.5 seasons now. So the Richmond team, they see the news about all of these celebrities getting their explicit videos and photos leaked. And so what the team captain Isaac decides to do is to tell all of the team members to delete every photo on their phone, which was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, these people, you could see, they were pretty audible about how they just didn't want to do all that because they were deleting photos and videos of their family and friends and just like really cool moments that they wanted to keep forever. But no, Isaac essentially just bullied everyone into deleting their photos, to the point where he takes the phone out of Colin's hand to delete a photo himself. I mean, that's just bullying. And it was just so frustrating. And that's when I am like 95% sure that's when he realizes that Colin has a boyfriend, and then he just pouts and walks off. Okay, but I mean, at least he didn't delete the photo. Honestly, that was probably worth it. But yeah, I just thought that was so stupid because now they all lost all of these photos that they wanted to cherish forever. I think it would have made sense for them to just delete their explicit photos and videos, but no, they made them delete every photo and video on their phone, which was just stupid. I thought it was stupid. And so, continuing with Keely's storyline, Jack decides to she tries to make Keely put a statement online about how she's sorry about the explicit videos and stuff coming out, which she shouldn't have to do. Keely should not have to do that. And they break up because of that, because Jack just gets mad that her girlfriend now has explicit videos online and won't apologize for it, which Keely shouldn't. So am I glad they broke up? I don't care they broke up. I just don't care anymore about Keely's storyline. Look, if this was called The Keely Show, I would like it a lot more. But this is Ted Lasso. I want Keely to be communicating or just have any connection with Richmond and the team anymore. I want to see more of her and Rebecca. I want to see more of her and Ted. Has Ted and Keely talked at all this season? Maybe about once or twice, but it's the only interesting part I found in her entire storyline was how Rebecca compared Jack to Rupert in the last episode. I thought that was interesting. And I guess it just led to Keely and Jack breaking up. So, again, I don't get it. Like, what was the point of Shandy? I don't get it. And we have a few more episodes left, but I'm judging these episodes one at a time. And you watch these episodes one at a time. You're not supposed to know the ending before you watch the season. So I'm judging it on what I've watched now, and I just didn't like this episode. And so I'm going to give this episode a grade. And, I forgot, Jamie at the very end. Apparently he was the one who had accidentally got it leaked online. He apologized for it. He said that he deleted all the photos and all the videos. He just forgot about the emails. And you can really see really see Jamie's character development here. And honestly, he's become my favorite character on the show right now. He's had some of the best character development on the show. And I never thought I'd say that Jamie's my favorite, but he has been. He's been a great character this season, and I can't wait to see more of him. So, if I had to give this episode a grade from 1 to 100, from 0% to 100%, I would give this episode... This is going to be rough. I think I would give it a 40. Yeah, I would give it a 40. And that's very disappointing to me because I loved this show. in the first 2 seasons. And the fact that I'm giving an episode of 40, it really just disappoints me. And honestly, if I'm not going to be that sad anymore if the show ends this season. I didn't think I would say that when the season started. I'm just getting a bit Ted Lasso fatigue now because nothing's really happening and everything's just moving very slow. And it's just disappointing. And I'm just disappointed. I'm not enjoying it. But if you enjoyed it, again, that's fine. And I would like to know how I'm wrong. Maybe I was completely wrong about some of my points, and you could possibly change my mind. I am open to changing my mind. So, if you like this video, if you want to see more, and you want to see my next few reviews on the next few episodes of Ted Lasso, please subscribe. That'd really help me out. And without further ado, I thank you, and goodbye.